Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Shahi Works. We are gonna explore now about date functions in SQL. What is date functions and what are the types of date functions in SQL? Now let's dive in. Let's begin with a real-time example. Here I have created the table with ID, name, salary and department. I'm not having any date related data, so I'm gonna add joining data inside the table. So alter table employee is that my table name, and I'm adding joining date. I want the table name as joining date, and at last the data type is date, so I'm giving it as date. So you have now created a table. Inside that you have to insert some values, right? For your clarification purpose, now if you insert values into the table, it will not take as an account, since because you already have a table, you can only update and alter it. So that I'm using I'm using update employees. For, as I have already told, for update employees there should be a must where condition there. So here where ID is equal to 1, here I'll be apply the condition in the second line as set joining date. I want the joining date to be here. Only I am inserting the value. This is how you will be inserting a value. Only for the first one we will be creating a table and adding inserting command. So here after that, if you want to add another table, means you have to do this add an update option. So I am writing the joining date in quotation, single quotation. Now I will show here I have already created ID, name and salary. For this I have used insert command, but here after if you want to add another column, means you have to use alter and you have to use your update function, and in update function there should be a where condition must. So if you highlight and execute it, now you can able to, sorry, I'm having an error in this because the red line indicates error here, so I have to clear it. So I'm giving executing. Now also I'm getting an error, since because I'm having an error here. So if I select and execute it, now you can able to see one row affected. Since you have to, if you get one row affected means you have to type select star from employees. This will helps us to show the table. So I am highlighting it and executing. Now the output will be fine, it will be good. Now you can able to see my joining date column has been created, and only for the first ID I am having the value. Since because for the second ID my joining date is null, since because why we have not yet inserted the values, right? So I am copying and pasting the first. Here you have to make change as where ID equal to 2, because we are having the null value and we will insert value for second ID, right? So here I am changing the date. Now if you execute and highlight and execute, you will be able to get the joining date also for the second one. I will show you. Now there will be no null. Also now also I'm getting one row affected. As I already told before, you have to if you get any one row affected like this, you have to retry by using select statement, select start from employee. This will help us to display our output. Now you can able to see that joining table for both the IDs have been created successfully. This is how you will be able to create a new column. So why I have created this joining date is because now we are gonna learn the join function, right? So we want the date to be mandatory. Now the class start for date functions. In previous video we saw about string functions like upper, lower, middle, length, right, left, concatenate, substring, etc. Now in this video we are gonna see about date functions. Date function. So here I am selecting name, select name, comma. After this don't forget to add comma. I am giving it as current date. As I want the table name as today underscore date. I want the column name, I want the output as current date in a column named as today date from employee table. So if I highlight and execute it, you can see what I am getting. The red line indicates that I'm having an error since because I have added my table name is employee, not employees. Also here I have to change the function name as joining date. These are the errors. Also now also after clearing also I'm getting errors since because I have to clear the employees and joining, that is this joining date is not applicable since because this command is only applicable for PostgreSQL. So now I am using the SQL server. So in SQL server you can able to use only this get data option. If you execute again I'm getting an error since because my table name is not good. My table name is employee but I have mentioned it as employees. So now if you able to see the output, you can see name and my column name is today's date will be whatever date I have mentioned, today's date I am getting. So this is how you will be using your date function. Next one we will be gonna see about DATEDIFF function. So first of all we have to select name from employees, right, from the table name. Next I'm using the function, always start with the function name DATEDIFF. After that only you have to set your column name DATEDIFF open bracket close bracket. In open bracket you have to enter day comma joining date, joining underscore date. Sorry, I have forgot to add O there, I will correct it. So in open bracket day joining date get data, since because it is a SQL server you have to write it as get data, and at last you have to give the condition as in open bracket close bracket and in open bracket as I want the column name to be as days worked. And at last you have to give from the table name, my table name is employee. So here what are you going to do is first you have to select your name, then you have to use your function. If you select your function also after writing you can able to see get your syntax day joining date get data. I want the date and joining date to be as total days worked. So I got the result for the days worked by using the function known as DATEDIFF. So next we will be seeing about the another function. Now we are gonna see about the year, month and day function. So first I am retrieving the data, select name. Next you have to use your function name as year. In here you have to give the condition. As soon as you enter the function you can able to get the syntax down, expression datetime. So my expression datetime is joining date. So I want the joining date as the table name. I want the table name as year underscore joined. So I want the year joining date as year joined, and next month joining date as month joined, and at last day as joining date as day joining date as day joined. So you are using these three functions, year, month and day, to find from the employees. At last now I'm gonna type for day. For all the three commands functions on the same syntax, only you have to change your function name. In SQL you have to be careful with your function name, since because if you know about the each of the function you can able to use that. Even also if you have any wrong column name, if by changing the name of the function you can able to get your output. So at last from the table name is from employee. So you have to highlight all this and you have to execute it. If you execute you can able to get your results as year joining date, month joining date, and at last day joining date as your result. So highlight and execute it. If you execute it now you can able to see get the output as year in year 2023 something like I'm getting, and then month 5th month 3rd month, next day 1/15 like this I got. At last now we are gonna find with the criteria condition. So for this I'm retrieving select name joining date from employee table, and I'm using the where condition where year joining date in the 2003. Now I'm gonna find for the year 2003. I'm gonna find the employee's name and joining date. So in 2003 I'm getting the joining date of the employee. So this is how you'll be using your date functions. I hope you all understood about date functions. Thank you for your attention till now. Also, if you found this useful, please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe for more useful contents like this.